can only be heard on ON, AM, and FM every weekday at 6:50 in the morning. Bob Vila's Home Improvement Tip of the Day is brought to you by Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center. Bob Vila's Home Improvement Tip of the Day on ON Radio.
Have you eaten any purple foods lately? It's an important color in your dietary color palette. We will tell you why on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report.
You're home. You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do? Call U.S. Med for home delivery of your supplies. If you have diabetes and you're worried about going to a crowded pharmacy, pick up the phone in the safety and comfort of your home and let U.S. Med deliver them to you with free shipping. And now if you test your blood sugar 4 more times a day and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call U.S. Med today.
800-611-7121. 800-611-7121. That's 800-611-7121.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Thursday, June 4th, the 156th day of the year. Actors Russell Brand and Angelina Jolie share a birthday, and Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA album was released on this day in 1984. One way to be sure you're getting a nutritionally balanced diet is to aim for a variety of colors, naturally occurring colors, that is, and the color that signals the highest antioxidant content is purple. A National Health and Nutrition study found that people who ate purple fruits or vegetables had significantly reduced risks from elevated blood pressure and cholesterol. Grapes, elderberries, black currants, blueberries, and prunes can be counted in the purple food family. And you can find purple-hued varieties of artichokes, eggplant, red cabbage, and asparagus. That is your Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more at almanac.com.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee and, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email at joe@onesocketradio.com. And now let's join the Coffee and panel on ON 1240, WOON One Socket Radio.
It's Coffee In on ON, AM and FM, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM. Good morning to you. It's Friday morning. It's June 5th, 2020. It's graduation day. Happy graduation day, Romeo.
Seniors out there, especially the Woonsocket High School seniors. The virtual graduation is today, starting at 6, right?
Virtual graduation starts at 6,
Yeah.
and our coverage of graduation is going to start roughly around 5:30.
5:30, that's great.
We're looking forward to that.
Yes.
Joining us on the telephone this morning is Paul Willett from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you, Paul.
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing all right. How are you today?
Oh, just fine. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. All right, before we jump into the conversation, let's get a first message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Back to you, Paul.
Thanks, Joe. We have a lot going on at the Chamber in the month of June. Next week we have a lunch and learn, we're calling it. It's a noontime presentation, and we're telling people they can pack a brown bag or just put something in a microwave and enjoy this webinar. It's called Transforming from Business as Usual to the New Normal. And it's going to be a guide to employment and employee benefits. It's going to be presented by 2 attorneys, so they're going to be looking from the legal side of things, and that's something that it's very popular. I mean, we've already got a lot of people registered for that. And then we're going to have a virtual information session with Health Source RI for employers. And that's going to be on June 16th, and that's taking place by Zoom, as the previous announcement I made. And then on the 17th, the very next day, we continue our Eggs and Issues series, and it's going to be virtual, again, by Zoom, and that's going to feature Bharat Sharif. Bharat is the former principal, or one of the principals from Panera Bread, and he's going to be talking about leadership and what he's learned over the years. He'll talk about building trust, leadership through your people, your brand, your product, everything about relationships. So that's going to be pretty informative, and that's going to be at 9:30. 7:45 to 9:30 on Wednesday, June 17th. And lastly, in the month of June, we have our Member Monday series that we started when the COVID crisis broke, and we're doing that virtually as well. And Eric Anderson, who's the president of EnviroClean Restore, is going to be talking about what you have to do as businesses reopen, and how you can sanitize and how they can provide that service for you. So that's going to be at 4 o'clock on Monday, June 22nd. So again, busy month at the Chamber. We're busy working, trying to schedule these virtual events throughout the summer, and we haven't let our guard down at all. So if you're interested in any of these, you can get more details on nrichamber.com, or you can call the Chamber at 334-1000.
All right, Paul, thank you. And let's see, where should we start? Where should we start, Romeo?
Oh, yeah, so many things to talk about.
All right, let's go with this one.
Romeo?
It is Romeo Berthium that's in with us today.
Good morning,
Paul.
Good morning, Paul.
Hi, Romeo. How are you?
I'm good.
I was a tad late, but the phone rang just as I was dialing.
No, you're fine.
No, not a problem.
It's good hearing your voice.
So, Romeo, I need you to rack your brain.
Okay.
And go back as far as you can go.
Okay.
Have you ever known the city of Woonsocket to have a curfew?
Absolutely not.
So the one we had the other night was the first time that you can remember having it.
Absolutely, in all my years.
I know you don't go back. And Paul, can you remember a time?
No. This is, and it looks so surreal with all the windows boarded up.
Yeah.
And it's funny, it's something I thought about with all the boarded up businesses. I said it looks like everybody's closed, and someone else must have had that thought because people were putting signs outside the boards saying, "Yes, we're open."
Yeah.
Because I think everyone just thought, well, you boarded up, you closed. And no. But now what about, maybe you've heard, if you go back to World War II time, were there curfews then?
Before my time?
I know it's before your time. Maybe you've talked to some older historians.
I don't think there were curfews as such.
Okay.
I don't know. I think people were asked to, exercise caution. They painted their headlights.
Yeah, they had the blackouts.
They did
right?
some things. As far as an actual curfew, I don't know. And I don't know if there are people out there who remember. There might be.
You got it way back.
You might get some calls or some emails saying, yeah. But no, I don't ever remember. The only curfew I ever had was from my parents.
I'm just wondering if the Museum of Work and Culture has, over to the right side when you walk in, they have the World War II exhibit, and I'm wondering if they would have something in there about Woonsocket.
Yeah.
Could be. It's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering. So Woonsocket had, let's say, they had their very first curfew. Everything went fine.
It did.
There were no threats against that took place. There may have been threats against the city, but nothing took place. So congratulations to the public safety officials being right on top of it.
And the mayor was just following the advice of the public safety people, and it didn't last long. And the irony of it is, it happened right as businesses began reopening. Isn't that something?
That is ironic.
And then they have a curfew.
Yeah.
And another personal irony, I made some reservations to come to town tonight for dinner with my wife, something we haven't done even in Florida because of this COVID thing. And I said, oh, no, now we're not going to be able to make it. We're going to have to call and see if they're in. But then I read, and it's in the paper this morning, that they did lift the curfew. So we'll be in town, and that's good.
Did you hear from any businesses, Paul, about they were ready to open up, and now this curfew is taking place?
Not to my knowledge. We've been doing a rotation as far as going into the office. I was there all day Wednesday and all day Thursday. I personally didn't take any calls, so I'm not sure if there was any calls that came in. But and Romeo's exactly right. I mean, the irony of this is that a lot of businesses were just allowed to open this week.
Yeah, June 1st.
you get another. It's just it's senseless. Hopefully things will calm down. Now I think there's some type of demonstration today in Providence.
Yes, there is.
And there's no indication at this point that it's going to be violent. It's going to be it's supposed to be a peaceful demonstration.
Yep.
But I mean the senselessness of this, and I don't understand what looting and stealing ATMs and all that has to do with what they think is justice. There has to be a better way for them to funnel their energy, and that would be just to advocate for unification. And it's a shame to see what's going on.
It's just anarchy. They just use this as an excuse to do this. There's a lot of anger out there and everything, but as far as the looting and the vandalism, absolutely complete anarchy. And I think a very small percentage of the demonstrators are involved, obviously, and it's making everybody look bad. But now that they've arrested the 3 other cops we talked about this the last time I was on, Joe.
Yep.
They're charging them with
aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
And I predict that maybe 1 or 2 of them will probably serve some jail time. The other 2 probably won't. But once this is all over, once the trials are done, and let's say 1 or 2 or 3 of them are acquitted, which I believe they will be, there's going to be more demonstrations.
Yeah.
Well, from what from what I'm hearing, it's a theory, really. The 3 other police officers, they'll all be found guilty for aiding and abetting. The other officer, with the one with his knee on George Floyd's neck, Chauvin, he's going to be acquitted.
He could be
because now they have to prove intent. They moved the charge up from 3rd degree to 2nd degree murder. Now they got to try to prove intent to murder. Well, that it's going to be difficult.
It's going to be very difficult, and it's very difficult to convict the cop. First of all, historically,
yes, it is.
And secondly, where are they going to find the jury? I mean, millions of people worldwide have seen this.
I brought this up
over
yesterday.
and over again. How are they going to get a fair trial?
They said they're going to keep it in Minneapolis, and they think they can, but you can't move it anywhere in the United States. It's one of those deals where everyone's seen it.
Absolutely.
So you can't find. You wouldn't be able to find one adult that would say, "I don't know what you're talking about." Really, a cop really killed a motorist? No, I haven't heard it. So
I know.
They're going to have to just keep it where it is. And by the way, if the 3 other cops get found guilty and the cop Chauvin is found innocent, you thought you saw riots before.
Well,
you wait till that happens.
Well, I predict that they will not all be found guilty. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And at that point, because they want to pound the flesh, the riots are going to start all over again. So, phase 1 is over, but they're still demonstrating. It's going to take months, if not years, for the trials to happen.
Come up. That's right, yeah.
And then they'll start all over again unless something drastic takes place. I don't know. I wouldn't, I just...
Well, unless this asteroid that's the size of the Empire State Building takes a left turn and smashes into the Earth, something might happen. That's actually true. So it's not going to smash into the Earth. It's bypassing us this weekend.
Oh, that's
An
good.
asteroid. First of all, I thought the asteroid was the size... They said it was the size of like a football stadium. But I guess it's broken up a little. And now it's the size of the Empire State Building, which is still pretty good size, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, we did get a message that was written in kind of about this. All of this, meaning everything that's going on except for the coronavirus, because of one stupid and very foolish police officer who's engulfed and consumed with power in his position. May God have mercy on his soul, because that's all he's got left.
I heard he was on suicide watch.
I bet he is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is at whatever prison he's being held at.
That's not surprising, but I think in a previous show, Joe brought it up. I mean, this initially it was 3rd degree, and then they moved it
They
up
upped
to
it up.
3rd degree, which, as you noted, Romeo, is difficult to get a conviction. Certainly, first degree would be almost impossible.
That would have been,
Yep.
you can't.
Peace unions and
Yeah, he would have had to get up that morning. Well, today I think I'm going to kill some guy.
Not some guy. That
guy. Yeah. No,
So,
I agree. Yeah, but it'll be hard to even prove second or third degree. I think.
So we'll see. Well, no word on when that trial will start, of course. All right. The question is asked: why would it be difficult to convict? He murdered this guy in plain view. The evidence is overwhelming. Yeah, but you never know with the when it goes to court and what the lawyers do. And,
there's a minor technicality. That's
you never know what's going to come up, and
Guaranteed.
I don't know. But it, I would say it's 99%. It doesn't look good, but there's always that 1% chance that they can come up with something, and they go off. They always said that the O.J. Simpson case was a lock. There was no video there,
right?
But they thought that was a lock too, and look what happened.
It definitely won't be first degree. He's charged with that, but he will not be convicted of that.
No, he's charged with second degree.
No,
second.
I thought they moved it to first degree.
No, they moved it from
Three to
third
two.
to.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm going to stand my ground on that one.
All right, look it up. You'll
I
see.
will. Thank you.
So, in case you're wondering, the president is in New England today, and if you want to go see him, he's in Guilford, Maine.
Really? What's he doing up there?
There's a small manufacturing plant up there. They make there's 350 people that work at this plant, and they make something to help detect the coronavirus. So he's going up there to congratulate them or whatever. By the way, Guilford, Maine, if you want to get there, you better start driving now. And that'll get you there sometime this afternoon.
Okay.
It's northwest of Bangor.
Oh,
so
that's way up there.
Take 95 to Bangor, and then you're going to have to take
northwest.
a diagonally up to the northwest and keep driving.
Oh.
So it's a bit of a way to get there. Okay for him. I mean, Air Force One can land at Bangor International Airport. There is one there.
Yeah.
And then, the motorcade will just go from there. But he's still got a long drive. It's at least an hour. When I looked at it on the map, it's at least an hour from Bangor.
I wonder how many people will show up to greet him.
Well, the governor of Maine, I think it's a she, Democrat, has asked the president not to be divisive in his remarks of whatever he's going to say. The police chief up there, he's a little concerned. He's a small town.
Yeah,
I think it's a 1,500. But anyway, he's worried that protesters and supporters are both going to show up.
Oh yeah,
So I'm sure there'll be a big contingent of Maine state troopers. That'll be up there as well
and you don't tell this president what to do. The very fact that she mentioned that, I was he'll do it.
Yeah, as soon as you tell him not to do it,
yeah,
he'll do it.
Yeah.
So there you go, because that's just the kind of person he is.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break on the Coffee and Panel. So, Paul, time for a second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Sure, thanks. As more businesses open up and people are getting back to work, now is the time to really position yourself as a business to promote your business and to just let everybody know you're here and what you're doing. The Chamber can help you with that. We have a number of things that we provide. Advocacy, we provide education, and we provide opportunities for you to promote your business. We have been working remotely, although we've been going into the office on a rotating basis. But starting June 15th, we will all be there full time. So give us a call. I mentioned some of the educational opportunities we had earlier, but that's just one thing. Now the General Assembly will be reconvening. We need to keep a watchful eye on legislation that's going to be passed. It could be both harmful and good for business, but we monitor that for you because we know you don't have time to go up there. So there's a lot of things that the Chamber of Commerce can provide for you. I know we've had a lot of questions lately, and actually Congress or the Senate just passed the new version of the PPP bill. That's the Payroll Protection Program. And we do have that new information up on our website at nrichamber.com. You just click on the Corona virus news and information, and you'll find that right up top there. So the Chamber's been keeping on top of all the information that's been coming out. So, again, visit our website at nrichamber.com, or you can call us at 334-1000, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
All right, Paul, thanks. I did see a very humorous to me, joke online the other day. It just said, "I can't believe it's rioting season already. I still have my COVID-19 decorations up." All right.
Yeah, you can't lose your sense of humor.
Somebody is thinking out there. I love that. All right, more Coffee Ants coming your way. Please stay tuned.
Outdoor dining is now being offered at River Falls Restaurant. Come and enjoy your meal with the Blackstone River in the background. You need to make a reservation in order to eat outside at River Falls, so call 401-235-9026 for reservations. And your party needs to be 5 people or less. River Falls Restaurant is ready to provide you with their great burgers, combo meals, seafood, pasta, chicken, veal, and prime rib. Come and enjoy your meal outside at River Falls Restaurant, Market Square, Woonsocket. Call for reservations today, 401-235-9026, 235-9026, River Falls Restaurant.
Join the Honey Shop for their grand opening as they expand their baked goods and specialty foods. This will include keto, Atkins, diabetic friendly, and gluten-free. Additionally, the Honey Shop will have artisan breads, sourdough, pizza strips, take and bake, and heat and eat meals. This grand opening and expansion of the baked goods will take place starting Wednesday, June 17th through Saturday, June 20th at the 6 Winthrop Street, Woonsocket location. For more information, go to the Honey Shop's Facebook page. Remember, if you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop. The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We're always here for you, ON Radio.
All right, it's Coffee Ant on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan here with Romeo Berthew, and Paul Willett is on the phone with us as well. We had another message that came in, someone doing some geography for us. Bangor, Maine is about 330 miles from Woonsocket, so add another 100 miles to get to Guilford, and you're looking at about a 5.5-hour drive. Okay, that's about right.
So what time are you leaving to greet the president, Joe?
See, I don't know when he's going to be there. That's the problem.
Otherwise, yeah.
If we leave now, we get there at about 2 in the afternoon.
Okay.
That's
probably miss him.
And that's if we don't stop. All right, let's see.
Joe, just to go back to what we were talking about, the charge. So it is. He was the officer who put his knee on Floyd's neck was originally charged with third degree, and then they moved that up to second degree manslaughter.
Okay.
Now they changed it to second degree murder charge.
Oh, okay. All right.
So just and I would never doubt Romeo's intelligence.
Oh, you should. You should. I was, if that's what you saw, but I thought for sure I saw first degree. I could obviously could be wrong.
Maybe they just wrote it and said first degree was off the table.
Oh, you heard it right here, folks. Romeo could be wrong.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, so let's rattle some cages here.
All right.
They're talking about, Congress wants to get back into session so they can put more laws in that's going to try to, and here's the new key word, by the way, eradicate. Good word.
Yeah.
It means erase, by the way.
Yeah.
We're going to eradicate racism. And I said it here yesterday.
No.
It will never happen. Romeo is a history teacher. And you look back at history, why did people go to war? Well, mostly they wanted land. But because we don't like that group of people over there.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
And you're never going to stop people from hating other people.
Yeah. Just like the Civil War. I mean, a lot of people are saying it was for states' rights, but it was also to preserve slavery.
Yes.
No doubt about it. And if that isn't racism, I don't know what is.
So eradicating it is not going to happen.
Ain't going to happen.
But now, I'm looking at all the. How about this for a solution?
Yeah.
If we look at I'm looking at all the protesters, and most of them are of color. Okay. How about we go to the ones that are basically 25 and younger and say, why don't you fix it from the inside? Why don't you become a police officer?
Yeah.
Now, it's difficult to become a police officer, first of all. Physically, mentally, there's a lot of stuff you got to go through. But have you even tried? And say, now, I don't know what the percentage is in Woonsocket. I don't know the percentages in any city of how many African Americans are on the police force in Woonsocket or Providence or Boston. But there's some, and if more come into the police ranks, then they'll eventually rise in the police ranks, and eventually you will see black police chiefs.
Isn't the police chief of Minneapolis African American? I thought he was.
He might be. I know the one in Boston is.
So, that's already happened, Joe.
Yeah, okay, but maybe we need more.
How do you do that?
I don't know, because I've asked Chief Oates when he's been here, when he's had a recruiting system going on.
Yeah.
I said, do you go to the high schools and talk to the kids there to get them to come in or try to come in? Yes, they do. Okay, when you get a class that comes out, how many are minorities? Very small.
Are they applying?
They're not.
Because they do have what they call quota systems, even though they don't admit it, where they, they tend to allow minorities a little bit more leeway into getting into various jobs, such as police work or even firefighting work. I know for a fact. My son's a firefighter in Boston, and I'm sure they have a decent percentage of African American firefighters, and I would think they also have the same with the police department, especially in the big cities like Boston, because there's a higher population of minorities. I think it all depends on the population. I don't even know what the percentage of African Americans is here in the city, and even then, if you look at the list of new recruits. The 5 new recruits that were sworn in earlier this week or last week, they didn't say where they were from, but I suspect 3 out of 5 probably weren't even from the city. You don't have to be a resident to be,
I don't know.
But it doesn't really matter where they're from. It matters as to how many, minority members do you have on the force. And I think they have certain. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe they're not applying.
Maybe they're not. It's either the last class or the class before.
Yeah.
I think Woonsocket got their first Asian American police officer.
Okay.
So, but if you went out to the protesters and said, "Well, how many have you applied to be police officers so you can change what's going on in the police department?" I bet the answer would be 0.
Yeah, probably. It's hard to gauge. Yeah. Interesting too that one of the 4 cops that was charged in this thing is Asian American.
Yeah. One's Latino.
One's Latino.
I think one's black.
I'm not positive about that, but I know that the main perpetrator, Mr. Chauvin, he's Caucasian. White. He's white. Yeah.
So I just thought, I always look for the most simplistic answer. Okay, how about more African Americans try to become police officers?
How do you change the system? How do you convince them?
I don't know. How do you convince them? I don't know.
It's something I don't think you'll ever get rid of.
Then they can be out, and then they can make a decision when they see a car go by with tinted windows, whether or not we go pull that car over or not, and see how difficult the job actually really is.
Yeah.
So
tough.
Is it a good solution, Paul, or am I too far out there?
I mean, and I said it before about there's got to be a different way to channel your energy rather than participating in protest and violence. I mean, if somebody really wants to make a difference, then step up to the plate. It's just like when we complain about laws. If you want to make a difference, run for office and try to make change.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
The key word is try. It's
That's right.
it's idealistic, but my prediction based on my background in history is I don't believe that they'll ever get rid of that ever, at least.
No.
Not in the foreseeable future. Certainly not in my lifetime, which is getting shorter and shorter. But I really, seriously, I don't know. I would love to see it happen, but even after the Civil War, you had all these, and then there was something in the paper today about lynching. I don't know if you read about that. Senator Rand Paul, I guess, offered an amendment to an anti-lynching bill. I'm not too familiar with I think it may have been online.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. But I read it somewhere that he offered an amendment to an anti-lynching law. saying it wasn't specific enough or something. And immediately, two of the African American senators, I believe it was Cory Booker from New Jersey and is it Kamala Harris from California?
Yep.
They both stood up and objected strenuously. So there's even that in the Senate. And
why? Because he's white and used the word lynching?
I'm not sure why, so I don't know too many of the details.
Okay.
But that did happen yesterday in the U.S. Senate. So, I don't know.
Okay. Another message has been written in. Good point, Joe. Wow. How about that?
So your wife is listening finally. Yeah, right.
Most of the protesters are in their early 20s. Having said that,
Yeah.
they are still developing in the mind, so these young protesters don't know how to deal with it diplomatically, so they revolt instead. But it's bad and it's very bad. So, but yeah, you can't go out to you can't go out to the 30-year-olds right now and say, okay, do you want to become a police officer? No. You got to start in your 20s to handle the rigors of the job.
I would never want that job.
It's not something you want to start.
No.
If you're 35
or twice that age.
And I think I asked Chief Oates, I said, is it for the physical demands, I guess when you start, is it I think it was like 30 sit-ups in a minute or 20 push-ups in a minute or something like that, and that's the minimum. Man, you got to hit that right away. And if not, it's like, okay, thanks for trying.
Some people that I know, a lot of young people that I know, failed that physical because of that. That's part of the physical requirement. And tough job. I would, it takes a lot out of you physically and mentally, and I admire people who go into that profession, which, by the way, most of them, the vast, vast majority, I'm going to say 90%, go in for the right reasons, and there's always that small minority that they're attracted by the power of the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like this guy, Chauvin, he probably had some sort of power over those three other guys. One of them was only on the job for 4 days.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
Wow.
and
Fired after 4 days.
And he was on the job, Chauvin, for 17 or 18 years.
Yes.
So he might have been the elder. You know what I mean? Like you watch war movies.
He was in charge.
And you see a sergeant who's been there for like 20 years, and
The
a
grizzled
lieutenant
sergeant.
who's only been there three years.
Yeah.
But the sergeant really has the power. You know,
he knows what he's doing.
And I don't know Chauvin, and I don't ever want to know him, but he strikes me as being a bully guy.
Well, he's had other strikes against him.
So if he was a bully toward the people that he was dealing with, the general public, if he was that way, and there are people like that, he may have been a bully with those guys as well, and they were probably afraid to say anything. Although one said, "Let's roll him over," and he said, "No, we're not going to do that."
Yeah.
And they, instead of arguing with him, they just went along with him because
He's in charge.
He's the elder.
He's
the elder.
Right.
I don't want to use the word statesman, but he's the elder guy. Yeah,
he's the elder officer.
That's it.
Here in
even
charge
if he doesn't have the high, I don't know what his rank was. I don't know if he was a sergeant, a patrolman, lieutenant.
I thought it was sergeant, but I'm not sure.
Okay, could be. So
All right.
there you go.
We're
He
going
was
to
in charge.
take a break again here on Coffee In and bring you the weather forecast, which is being brought to you by Stress Balls De-Stressing Gummies. Today, we are looking at a cloudy day. Showers and thunderstorms are possible this afternoon. And high temperature today will be near 77. Tonight, chance of showers and thunderstorms. It'll be cloudy as well, low around 67. Saturday, chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly in the afternoon. It will be a partly sunny day with a high near 82. Saturday night, clear skies, low of 58. Sunday, mostly sunny and a high near 72. Monday, sunny and a high near 78.
Good.
And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have a little light rain and 69 degrees. More of Coffee In is coming your way. Please don't go anywhere.
I'm here with Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency in North Smithfield. Celeste, tell me about the Benjamin Agency.
Most of our business is providing home and auto insurance. However, we feel the most important thing is to insure people. Everyone insures their home, their autos, which are really just objects. I don't know if you know this, Dave, but only 57% of Americans even have life insurance. You may get into an accident, you may have a claim on your home, but life insurance is a guaranteed payout for your family. We are here to keep your family going. Our family serving your family.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
People ask what PACE is. Well, PACE is a different kind of health plan. There's really nothing like it. Because PACE was created to give older people with health challenges the care and support they need to keep living at home. If you have a parent who wants to remain independent and live at home, but needs help to do so, call 401-654-4176 or visit pace-ri.org and see what a difference PACE can make in both of your lives.
Hey, this is Bonnie James.
And I'm Dave Koz, inviting you to listen in this weekend when my very special guest will be super saxophonist Bonnie James. Always a great guest, lots of great music, and fun conversation as well, so tune in for that. And remember to visit davekoz.com during the week and listen in this weekend, Bonnie James and yours truly, on the Dave Koz Radio Show.
Hi, fans of smooth jazz. The Dave Koz Radio Show can only be heard on ON Radio, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM every Sunday. Twice on Sundays, 6 to 8 in the morning, and then 7 to 9 in the evening. The Dave Koz Radio Show is brought to you by the Carew Investment Group. It's the Dave Koz Radio Show right here on
ON, AM, and FM.
This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
When you want to know what's coming up in your town, there's news, as it's reported, and there are public notices. Public notices, also called legal ads, are placed by cities and towns in newspapers to alert you of important meetings that'll be coming up soon. At the Valley Breeze newspapers, you'll find public notices right up front, generally on page 4. They aren't tiny, hard-to-read ads in the back of the paper. In the Breeze, ads are easy to find and read. We want you to know. In addition, all public notices are placed online at valleybreeze.com, where they remain posted until the public meeting is passed. It's just the right thing to do. If you live in Cumberland, Lincoln, North Smithfield, or another local town, you'll find public notices in the Breeze every week and online at valleybreeze.com. Go to the homepage and click Public Notices. You'll find them all. Breeze public notices that will keep you informed, ahead of the crowd, in the paper and online. Thanks for noticing.
Coffee in on ON, AM, and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Paul Willett and Romeo Bertham is here as well.
Yes,
okay.
Good morning.
Ready? I'm going to get in more trouble now.
Okay, here we go.
All right. We've ready, Paul?
Yep.
All right. We've all heard about what Drew Brees said and then his apology for what he said.
Yep.
And, okay, now, the NBA has basically said it looks like we're starting again July 31st. So another 7 weeks or so. The NBA is going to start up. They're going to play their games down in Orlando. The NFL, it looks like they actually may start as well with no fans, but okay. Baseball are fighting with each other, and hockey may start as well. But I'm going to focus in on the NBA and the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because of what Drew Brees said and his apology, I'm going to make what I think is going to happen. In my opinion, if they play the national anthem before the NBA games and the NFL games, every member of the team will be on a knee. Every single one. No matter what nationality. And boy, if you don't take a knee, oh my gosh, will you be crucified.
Mm.
And so I thought about that. And TV's always looking for good controversy. So the director of the game and telling the cameraman, get a shot of everybody kneeling and make sure you pan along and make sure you get the one person or two people that aren't kneeling. That are standing there either saluting and putting their hand over their heart because they're the rebels now.
Yeah, just the opposite.
We're the nonconformists now.
Unbelievable.
Get them so we can get it on ESPN and show it nationwide. So we can crucify them. And so here comes my simple answer to get away from that. Ready?
I'm ready.
Don't play the national anthem. Don't play the national anthem before games. I don't know why it's played before games.
I heard Paul groaning on that one.
Other than it's been tradition. We just started doing it, I don't know when. Don't do it, and therefore if they want to kneel, it looks like they're stretching. Paul, should we not play the national anthem before sporting events?
I think that
First of all, I don't agree.
Don't agree with what?
That you should eliminate that.
Okay.
I mean, as Americans, it's an opportunity for a large group of people to assemble, and I think that we should, be able to celebrate the country. And I think that it's a tradition that should continue, and I think it's something that most people look forward to and participate in.
Okay. Do you think the players will all take a knee?
I don't know. I mean, if you protest one way, you could also protest another way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting, but with Drew Brees, I mean, this was his second attempt to apologize, and a lot of his colleagues in the NFL and the sports world saying, I don't. You said it. I don't buy the apology, and that's it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But it's something that I mean, I'm sure everybody would have their opinion. I'd be interested to hear what Romeo has to say.
I will agree with Joe.
All right.
I think to avoid controversy. There's enough controversy. Let's stop this nonsense right now, and a good way to do it is to just ignore it at this point. And we'll be accused of being anti-patriotic.
Yes,
of course.
we would be.
Especially you, Joe. I'm surprised. I'm
wearing red and white ties.
I know. No, but I think in this particular case,
it's to avoid controversy.
There's so much controversy going on in the country right now. That would be a good way to avoid it. So I agree with Joe.
But even that would be controversial.
Yeah, of course
They're
it would
not
be.
playing the national anthem.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think it would be. In all due respect to you, Paul, I know you are. I can't see you, but I can hear you. No, actually, only for the sake of trying to avoid that particular controversy. But then you create more, as you just said, controversy by doing that. But I don't know which is worse. But at this point, I'm just going to agree with Joe because I'm sitting right next to him and he's ready to throw something at me if I don't agree with. No, that's not why.
Daggers, yeah. But that brings up another good point. And Paul said, Paul just said it. He goes, there's different ways to protest. Not really. And from what I've seen, I'm going to get in more trouble here.
That's all right.
What I've seen from the Black Lives Matter movement, if you don't agree with them 100%, then you're wrong. And you're just doing it wrong. And now you're against us.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like what the ultra liberals do. If they have to have complete agreement as well, otherwise, you're no good. I mean, they can be very sometimes what's the word? Not controversial, but if you don't agree with everything they do, it's the same thing. You're no good. And they should be the ones that are the more open-minded than, let's say, the conservatives. But for example, a good example of that is college speakers that they don't want because they're too controversial. They put up a big stink, and what do the college administrators do? They cancel the speakers.
And it's usually the right-wing speakers.
I know. Well, that's right, and that to me is wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know I'm getting off the subject, but Paul, in all due respect to you, you're wrong. No, I'm only kidding. You're entitled to your opinion, even though you're wrong.
God bless America.
What was that, Paul?
I said, God bless America.
That's right. First Amendment right. We have a right to disagree, even though.
Even I saw that, by the way, when Drew Brees came out and talked about the flag and like that, and people were criticizing them, but other people were saying, what happened to you can have your own opinion?
Yeah.
Apparently, you can't anymore.
No.
But unless it agrees with my opinion, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
No, with social media, I mean, the world has become very opinionated, and it's out there for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big social media fan in terms of posting things on Facebook, but I do see, friends and sometimes relatives get into discussions and arguments when it gets to, political things.
I know. Me too. You try to avoid those, right, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, I have a few relatives that are very much opposed to my views. And, in fact, I just tell them, look, I'd rather not discuss politics. Let's talk about religion instead. No. No, not really. I think you're right. I mean, it's the family is the social unit where it all starts. I mean, if the families are not getting along politically, imagine what the country is doing. And I don't have to tell you, we are so divided. Probably the most since, I'm going to say, either the Vietnam era. I remember when that very well. People tend to forget, but there were a lot of demonstrations. And that was the same era that they had the race riots as well in the 60s. But I think the Civil War, the Civil War, Vietnam, and now, those three periods in our history are really going to be marked as being very divisive. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Ah, good. We agree on something anyway.
So, and then I heard it on our news earlier today on a different subject. And Romeo, you probably have a pretty good opinion about this. Down in Virginia, at some college, they're removing the statue of Robert E. Lee.
No, I think that's wrong.
You think removing it is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's history, and you just can't negate history by taking down these symbols.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Sure.
Okay. Now, Robert E. Lee was on the losing side of the Civil War.
Yeah, of course.
So why is there a statue up of the guy that lost? and to follow that up, in Germany, there were no statues of Hitler. And there's no statues of Mussolini, although his house is still standing in Italy. But
Hitler and Mussolini were evil people. In the eyes of native Virginians, I don't think Lee was evil.
Okay.
Lee had a real hard time making a decision as to where he was going to go.
I know,
when the war broke
Lincoln
out.
wanted him on the north, right?
Yeah, and he was. I mean, he was pained when he had to make the decision. He went with his state. And, in the eyes of many Southerners, he was a hero. He lost. And believe me, he fought for states' rights. He fought to preserve slavery. There's no doubt about it. But
and that's why they want to take it down.
Washington and Jefferson, those guys had slaves.
Yeah, I know.
And they were heroes. They were, I think because they were on the winning side. Think about that. If Washington would
they were from the South, though.
Yes, they were from Virginia. But if Washington, if the Americans would have lost the Revolutionary War, Washington would have been hanged as a traitor.
Well, yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
They didn't hang Robert E. Lee. They didn't hang Jefferson Davis. In fact, they released him from prison. Lee became the president of a college after after the war. Didn't live very long. He died 5 years after the war ended. But basically, I think it's wrong to take the symbols down. That's just my opinion. I really don't think they should do that. I think you can't negate history by taking down these things. These things happened. And, he was a state hero. He was a Confederate hero. He was there are still many, many Southerners who view this as, view them as heroes. So I really think they shouldn't do that.
Go ahead, Paul.
You don't have to be a winner to be a hero. I mean, you can
That's right.
By just being committed to the cause.
I like that.
Okay.
I really like that. You don't have to be a winner to be a hero. Can I quote you on that, Paul?
You can. I'll take steps to trademark it as soon as we get off.
All right. We'll talk after the show.
But Romeo, you talk about this, there were some people in the South that still consider Lee a hero, and I'm sure so. But then there's the whole other side, and I'm talking African Americans who say he's the enemy.
Oh, absolutely.
He's the head of the enemy, basically. Yeah. So his, grandizing him with a statue is the wrong thing to do.
But I also think it's wrong to bury history, and that's what they're doing.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
So they said they're going to put it in storage. They don't say where.
Oh, they're not going to destroy it.
No, they're going to wait, and they're going to see what, and they didn't say how long, but they want the public to decide what do we do with it.
Well, there was there was a big controversy in Charlottesville about 2-3 years ago. Remember that? And it was about a Robert E. Lee statue there, which is still there, by the way. And that's where they had that controversy where the president said there was good on both sides. He was contradicted for that, and there was a woman who died in that little skirmish in Charlottesville. That's still very, very a source of great bitterness down there. But I've seen that statue. It's all roped off and everything, but that statue's still up there. But I think if they take that statue down, it's gonna start a movement where they're gonna take them all down. And they're gonna take a poll. But who are they gonna poll? They're gonna poll everyone, or just
the populace of that state.
Yeah. Well, you mark my word, they're going to vote against it.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Because it's the politically correct thing to do.
Yeah, well, that's political correctness is going a little too far.
Okay. All right. More Coffee Ants coming up. We got to take a break right now, and this segment of the Coffee Ant program has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze.
Is your business struggling to be found on Google? Are you still trying to figure out how Facebook works? Are you wasting your money on social media? Do you just need more customers? If you do, then contact the local digital marketing team at Breeze Digital Media in Lincoln. Breeze Digital Media has programs that are approved by Google and Facebook and are designed to grow your business. Packages start at only $199 a month and include easy monthly reporting so you know where your investment is going. Contact Breeze Digital Media for a free marketing analysis of your business today. Call 401-334-9555, extension 154, anytime, or visit breezedigitalmedia.com/offer. Chan's Fine Oriental Dining of Woonsocket serves a wide selection of chicken, seafood, pork, and steak entrees, including combination platters, all flavored in one of the 4 most popular schools of Chinese cuisine. Try something familiar or something new. Some of their signature entrees include chicken with crispy noodles and fresh vegetables, honey walnut shrimp, or Chan's poo-poo platter. And don't forget their award-winning wonton soup. Chan's is available for parties up to 125 persons, as well as catering for indoor or outdoor events. Chan's Fine Oriental Dining, 267 Main Street, Woonsocket. Open for lunch daily at 11:30. For reservations, call 765-1900. Be sure to check their upcoming variety of great jazz and blues performers. Chan's also welcomes takeout.
At Milford Federal Bank, we're not only bankers, we're neighbors, we're friends. We know your stories and you know ours. We participate in the same local traditions, support the same causes, care about the same issues, and take pride in doing our part to make the community the best it can be. Milford Federal Bank, proud to be your neighbor, your friend, and your bank since 1887. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Coffee Inn on ON, AM and FM. This is Joe Callahan, along with Paul Willett, and Romeo Berthium is here. There was something I was going to... Oh, okay. More controversy. Ready, Paul?
Here we go.
Still there, Paul?
Yeah, I'm here.
all
I'm
right.
waiting to hear what's going on.
Okay, well, George Floyd had his funeral yesterday.
Yes, he did. Well,
why was he allowed to have a funeral?
Why was he allowed to have a funeral?
If you have a family member die today, Romeo, you cannot have a funeral where a large crowd shows up.
Well,
he was allowed a large crowd, and Al Sharpton came out and did the eulogy. And and that's another question.
Well,
how well did Al know George?
Well,
were they good friends? I don't think so.
First of all, I went to a wake yesterday afternoon here in
You
town.
did?
I
Okay.
did, and there's a funeral this morning in town of this person. This is a former teacher who was in my department. In fact, I want to extend my condolences to the family of Bill Rogers. And I went, and it was social distancing. You know, I had to wait my turn. There weren't too many people there, but it was there. So I think that they're starting with that again. But more importantly, the fact that they're having these large demonstrations, and if you want to call that funeral, and that was big.
So that's considered
What's going to
demonstration?
happen with COVID-19 now? It's
Well,
going to
wait.
be interesting to see if there's a surge, because these people were so close to one another these last few days, and we'll see what happens. I think.
Well, you got to look. You would have to see a surge would happen in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
So we'll have to see what happens around June 20th.
So was that your point, though? That
no, my point is, if you listen to Dave read the obits, you read the obits.
Yeah.
In
Most
the
of
paper,
them are not
They
having
all
it.
say we're going to because of COVID-19,
Yeah.
we're going to have something later. We're going to have something later. We're going to have something later.
Well,
this happened. It's a huge media event. We can have a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
So but that's okay.
Well, they probably figured there were so many demonstrators anyway that were close to one another. It won't make that much of a difference anymore. But and again, in all due respect to your comment, there are some people, even locally, that are having funerals.
It seems like some animals are more equal than others, Romeo.
I'm going to.
Do you understand that reference?
I do.
Okay. Paul, do you get that reference?
We'll leave it at that.
Okay. It's Animal Farm, by the way, people.
Yeah. Okay.
This is another thing I don't agree with, and
George Orwell would be proud.
I'm sure he would be.
Okay. So you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
Lego, the company that makes the little things you stick together. Okay.
Yep.
Lego is asking stores not to advertise any toy sets involving police or the White House.
Oh, come on.
No, this is true. I actually saw it. What's that?
I hear him laughing.
Who makes Lego?
Yeah, is that a?
I don't know. I don't know if they're their own company. Or if they're owned by Hasbro or.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a Hasbro product.
Not sure.
All products are still for sale. The company is just pausing ads in response to the nationwide protest. Lego wants the black community to know it stands with them against racism and inequality. It says their mission is to inspire the builders of tomorrow, and that includes inspiring them to be tolerant, inclusive, and kind. The move comes after the company donated $4 million to organizations that educate children about tolerance.
But Lego is also making a statement that they're anti-police.
That's what I think, too. And this happened right after George Floyd's death. Within 2 days, the University of Minnesota cut all ties with the Minnesota Police Department because of what happened. And they're not going to have them there to do security at events. But it also happened, you know where else? Right up the road in Worcester. And I wish I could remember which college, and I can't
Assumption?
Right now.
Not Assumption.
I cannot remember.
Yeah. It's probably a private school.
Yeah, and they cut all ties with the Worcester Police Department because of what happened in Minneapolis.
Because
and I go, where's the connection?
No, absolutely not. Less than 1%. Less. Maybe maybe 1/100th of 1% of those cops are bad, and they're punishing the entire department. That's very, very sad.
It is.
And here's where I really feel bad for the police. I mean, they need support, but unfortunately, because of what happened, they're not going to get it, and they're going to be, blanketed with one. They're all like that. That's not fair. Very unfair. And if I were a cop, I'd be very demoralized right now, especially if I was a good cop. And and 99% of them are good cops.
Yes,
I mean that.
And so I wonder if this is going to be another domino effect. Are other colleges just going to fall in line and we're going to cut all ties with our local police department?
No, you can't do that. First of all, they're going to need the police department someday. And if they do that, man, look out.
Paul, have you seen the latest online stuff? And it always comes from the young people, people in their 20s, that they're carrying signs that say defund the police.
No,
absolutely wrong.
Romeo is absolutely right on when he says
wow.
That's the
percentile. Thanks, Paul.
I talked to your wife. She said I had to say that.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you that off the air, but you mentioned it on the air. So,
but it is. I mean, that's like stereotyping.
Yeah.
Any whether it be a race, organization, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This is a small percentile, and to be taking drastic steps like that's just going to further divide.
It's going to be worse. Yeah, it's going to get worse. Of course.
You can almost relate it to the problems with the Catholic Church. And how many people left the Catholic Church because of some priests?
Some priests, exactly.
Not all priests.
Small percentage.
And a lot of I'm just cutting my ties with the whole Catholic Church because of what some priests have done.
Well, I would say, to people that do that, most of them are using that as an excuse. Just leave. So? Don't give a reason. Just leave. Well, that's the way you feel, leave. But
I wasn't going to church anyway. So
exactly. Now, see, that's why I don't go to church.
Yes.
I knew this all along. Yeah, right. No, I wish in a way Father Dan were here. He'd probably agree with me on that one. I don't know.
Maybe he would. Yeah.
I don't know.
How's he doing? I hear he's doing better.
Yeah.
Father Dan.
Somebody said he did not have the virus. He was just ill.
No, I talked to him. And he says he does.
Yeah.
He's in self-isolation and he's getting better.
That'll teach me to listen to another station. That's where I heard it, by the way.
Well, stop listening to those private stations, Dad. What do they know? All right. In case you're wondering, in case you're a fan of the TV show Fuller House, we're coming down to the end of the program. Lori Loughlin has not been on the program.
I wonder why.
Due to her situation up there in Boston. So the show is coming down to their season finale. I'm going to give away the ending, by the way.
Okay.
So if you don't want to know the ending,
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. You're going to have to turn off the radio. Sorry about that.
Yep.
They're actually going to deal with where she's been. Where has the character of Aunt Becky? Where has she been? She was on at the beginning when they started the reboot of the show, and
so where is she?
All of a sudden, she's not there.
Where has she been?
You want to know?
Yeah.
Going down the Charles River, maybe.
No, now that would have been what would have been funny if they said she was taking care of some business in Boston. That would have been funny.
Yeah,
but they're not going the funny route. They're just saying she's back in her hometown in the state of Nebraska, helping out her mother. So they went with a real clean, whitewash the whole thing. And think,
no,
she a wonderful person.
She was in Boston helping out her daughter.
That would have been funny. Although her character didn't have a daughter old enough to be in college, so
helping out her niece or somebody like that.
The character was written out because of the real-life Lori Loughlin situation. She was also fired from the Hallmark show When Calls the Heart. I don't know about that one.
Yep.
Loughlin recently pleaded guilty and is expected to be sentenced to 2 months in prison. Is that all she's going to get, 2 months?
Yeah, probably won't even
nice
spend
deal
any
she
time
got.
in prison itself.
No,
She'll probably wear a bracelet.
Felicity Huffman spent time in prison.
Yeah.
About 30 days.
Yeah. That was before COVID, though. You mark my word.
Well, if I was in prison, I would, I'd be talking to my lawyer. Hey, get me out. Use COVID-19.
Of course.
Whatever means necessary.
That's why people won't go back to work. Why should they? They're getting $800 a week not to work, and the employers are calling them back in.
Pretty sweet deal.
And they're saying, well, I'm afraid to catch COVID, but I'll be fine by August 1st. That's when the benefits end.
And okay, go ahead, Paul.
Right, Paul?
The lunch and learn that we have next week will be addressing that very thing. What do you do if
those employees? Wow.
Doesn't want to come back to work?
What do you think of that, Paul? I know we're almost out of time, but that's an interesting topic.
There are, just like everything else we've been talking about numbers. There are people who will use that as a quote excuse. But I guess the fear is real, and it's something that the HR people right now are scrambling to learn. What do we do?
But if employers are calling employees back to work and they refuse to go back to work,
can you fire them?
Can they be fired? And can they be let's say can they be told that we'll have to notify the government that you refuse to come back to work? You're going to lose your benefits, so you better come back to work. Can they do that?
Right. The employer is obligated to notify the Department of Labor.
Sure.
Person has refused to go back to work, and they could be putting their benefits in jeopardy. Normally, when you file a claim, it asks pointing questions. Did you look for work this week? And you have to have that. But they're just bypassing all that during this. Obviously, you can't look for work during these times, and nobody. Some people are hiring, but they're just eliminating that portion right now.
Objectively speaking, Paul, can you blame them for not wanting to go back if they're going to get $800 a week for 12 weeks or whatever it is?
It's the biggest disincentive out there.
That's right.
I have a niece who works in Massachusetts. She works at a child care facility.
Yep.
And she's saying, "This is great. I'm making,
of course,
just above minimum wage." And she said, I bought a new laptop. I'm making more money now than I ever have.
I know.
Doing nothing.
That's where the incentive is gone. And objectively, I can't blame people for wanting to do that unless they have a great work ethic. Some do, and they'll say, okay, no problem. And nobody's going to send the money back. But even the stimulus payments that they gave everyone, some people really didn't need them. They gave them anyway. And are you going to send them back? Of course not. But why is the government doing that?
To help. Well, we've come to the end of the program, so we can't answer that question.
Okay, next time.
Hopefully, next time we'll answer it. So remember, we have the Woonsocket High School graduation this afternoon here on ON Radio. It's going to start around 5:30. Join us on the radio and on our website, woonsocketradio.com, for that. Paul Willett, thanks for joining us this morning on the Coffee and program.
Yes, thank you, and welcome back